Alright guys, today's video we are going to be messing with the Project Dakota, and I don't know how much project this is going to turn into, but we are going to see why it doesn't start right now. As if you guys have seen the intro video to that, we bought it, it has some work that needs to be done and it doesn't start currently, but here it is. Here's the ugly truck at this point, and it doesn't start. So I got a multimeter. I've tried tapping on the starter and I'm gonna see what we got going on. I've been getting some clicking. I've tried putting jumper cables on it, didn't seem to make a difference. Pretty sure the starter's cooked. We'll double check a couple things and then we'll rule that out and get one ordered. First things first, let's put a voltmeter on this. Like I said, I've already put jumpers on this. 12.5 volts. It should have plenty to at least roll over, but we're not getting that amount. So I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna double check that I have the same voltage at the starter. I'm pretty sure I do, but I'll double check. All right guys, so I might not be able to see too much, but I'm underneath the truck. That's the starter and it looks pretty cooked, and there's a little plastic grommet normally and it is melted. I checked, I have 12.5 volts leading up to it on the positive cable, and right now I'm just going to see if when you turn the key, if it has 12.5 volts coming out of the solenoid leading to the starter motor. So let's check that with the multimeter. Okay guys, so I actually tried to roll it over and I'm not getting power coming out of the solenoid. So it might be the ignition actually in the dash isn't sending the signal, or I'm gonna try right now to put 12 volts on the actual starter and see if it spins. So I don't know, we'll see if that does anything and then I can try to diagnose it as such. But right now I'm not getting 12 volts coming out of the solenoid when you try to start it. Oh, this was like super loose. Okay, so it actually looks like, I don't know, that wire that engages the solenoid was completely loose. So I'm gonna go up top and see if maybe it might start. If it does, that would be the easiest fix ever. Let's see you guys, if this works, I will start laughing. Oh, it tries to start, but that starter motor is like toast. Okay guys, so I ended up kind of hot wiring the truck right now. So I put the positive lead right to the starter, bypassing the solenoid. I also put the negative right on the casing of the starter, one of the bolts, and I put the negative on the negative and the positive here just to see if it would even attempt to turn it over. And you guys can hear it for yourself, it can't turn over the truck. So same thing as inside, so it's pretty much going to lead to a starter. So if we have the truck in neutral, technically it should be able to turn over the engine, and it's not doing anything really. So here's the starter. So it's not even trying to start. So same thing, it's pretty much a starter. We're gonna pull off the starter and we can test it that way. So I'm just gonna disconnect the battery. 2 bolts hold the starter in, so I'm gonna pop this out and we'll see what happens. Okay, 2 bolts and a 13 mil for the positive lead and just that clip, and that's it. All right guys, so you guys can probably see it's super black. It's not necessarily with grease. It's pretty much, this is what I was saying underneath when I was looking at it. See how back here it's like charred and there used to be like a plastic plug and it's completely melted off in there. So even if I can try right now just putting 12 volts on it, we'll see if it spins, but you can smell it. It smells toast. So we'll put some power on just for fun and see what it does on the floor. All right guys, so you can see, watch, this thing should be spinning like crazy with 12.5 volts on it. So if I put this on here, that starter behind me should be going crazy, and it is barely trying to spin, and it gets extremely hot with 12.5 volts on it. That thing should be spinning like crazy right now. All right guys, so it is actually the next day. We've got the Dakota there, and I went to the junkyard and I got this starter motor for 25 bucks, you guys. And it looks pretty new, and they were kind of, I don't even know if I want to call it bragging, but they were commenting on how the one that they took out was a brand new starter. So I would have to agree in that sense. It looks pretty new if you ask me. So I'm gonna take off those connections. I'll crawl under there, and it's just 2 bolts, you guys. So we should be able to put this thing back in and hopefully have it starting in just a few minutes. Okay, and I apologize for it being a little bit dark when I removed it, but I'll show you guys exactly what you're gonna need. You're really not gonna need much. So I used a 5/8 socket with a 1/2 inch because those bolts are pretty tight, and a 13 mil wrench. So you're gonna need the 13 so you can take off your power cable. I guess technically you do need a 10 mil to disconnect the battery, but that's pretty much it. You're gonna disconnect, once you disconnect the battery, you're gonna take off this power lead, And then you are going to remove the 2 bolts, so 1 and 2, and then the starter comes off. Other than that, you just have to remove this clip as well. So obviously they cut it off the donor vehicle that we got from the scrapyard, but that's pretty much it. We can take this pigtail off since ours is connected to the truck still. And we'll remove this 13 mil, and then we can put it in the truck. One last observation is, remember I said that this thing got extremely hot and there's usually something sticking out of here that's all melted on this one? Well look, it's a little rubber vent that normally would sit there, and it is completely smoked on this. Like even the sticker is all bubbling up and almost catching on fire on this thing. So yeah, definitely this was the issue. Let's put this one in. All right guys, so we're under the truck and I'm just gonna tape up this. For some reason, some of the shielding got stripped back on our trigger wire for the starter. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll put our positive lead on. Again, the battery is disconnected up top. And we'll put our 13 mil bolt back on. Okay, now we can go ahead and throw our starter up. Just like so. Okay, everything's tight. Let's go up top. Okay guys, we're back up top, and now technically we should be able to just connect our battery with our 10 mil wrench, and hopefully this thing starts. Let's try. Connect our negative, tighten it back up. All right, so we know this is gonna stick a little bit, but we should be able to turn it and start it. Well, look at that, you guys. That's it. We got some other issues to tend with, but at least she starts on her own power now. All right guys, so she starts over and over. The only thing is, like I said, I gotta figure out what's going on with this key cylinder, because the key's not supposed to come out while the engine is running, and it doesn't like spring back in the normal sense. So that's probably why somebody ended up burning out the starter motor. But I mean, as far as the starter motor itself, it starts. You just gotta roll the key back yourself. Otherwise, I don't know. See, now it's starting to work. I don't know if I put some PB Blaster in there. We'll see if that helps anything, but you can see the key comes out and it's kind of notchy, so. But at least the truck starts. All right guys, so that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. The truck now starts and that is resolved. So I still have to fix the key, as I was mentioning, but at least the starter motor is fixed. The truck can start, but most likely the starter got burnt out because of that ignition. So that's pretty much it. If you guys found this helpful or informative, make sure you give a thumbs up, subscribe. We got a lot of videos on the way, and check out all of our current videos and playlists on all these vehicles, all the builds. We got a lot, and we also have a fancier Dakota that we've already done a lot of stuff on. So thanks for watching. See you on the next video.